But let's say it first.
Belit mati malkatu. Belit mati malkatu. Ram.
So these are sacred phrases that are pre-Canaanite, very, very long time ago, and Sadi found them. Neil Douglas Klotz, who was also a connection into soul work along with Marianne Baker, the lineage holder. But Sadi found these words, and they are speaking to the dark mother, so that dark part inside of us that we may not have even found yet, that is very deep inside, but that is saying, I can. It's the I can principle of the universe of, I can go for this, I can do this. And the Ra'um is really, as we've been working with, is the first part of it, it speaks just that seed syllable goes into many other different words in the Arabic language, but the Ra'um, it speaks to the womb, the place in which everything is born, and it also is totally synonymous with love. So we're going to be playing with, speaking about, and looking at the 8 of Swords today. And I'm going to put up 2 cards because the 8 of Swords is connected to the other 8 card in the deck, which is of the major arcanas, the more archetypal energies, the larger energies that we all embody. And this particular card in the major arcana is strength. Kuwat is what Ayeda Hussein names it from the Sufi Tarot. So this 8 of Swords is very traditionally, it's kind of like one of those cards that if you're doing a reading you don't want to get. It looks pretty bad. In most of the decks, how you see her is it's a woman and she is blindfolded, and usually her she's got some kind of ropes around this part of her body, and she's kind of standing very rigidly, and all around her, in this case, the swords are in front of her, but usually in most decks, the swords are forming a circle that are literally creating a cage around her. And it's said that in this card, it's speaking to the fact that it's those parts inside of us that really believe that there's nothing we can do. It's hopeless. We may as well we can't even get free. We just have to stay in some kind of a rigid position. And because the 8 is such a possible card of amazing kind of breaking through into lots of transformation, because it's the 4 doubled. It has that sturdiness, but at the same time it's going to bring up everything that has been not looked at. So you can see in this card again, there's like that darkness. The darkness with some light coming in, and whether or not this woman can find, and for each of us, our way to begin to realize that we're not being held by anything except our mind. The Swords card is always related to the air, which is related to mind. And so in this case, it's the thoughts that she has that are keeping her imprisoned of what she can and can't do, who she is, all of these many, many ways in which we hold ourselves. And Raphael and I were talking about I can't remember, in the car, I think yesterday as we were coming back, and I wanted to speak a little bit about what we were kind of riffing on. And did you want to say a few words about that? Because I thought it was really interesting.
Sure, I'll say what's coming up now, and hopefully some of that is what we were talking about yesterday. The first thing when I saw the card, when we think about, well, I'll go to that, our limitations, what limits and what binds us. And really, we can think, we all, especially sort of as we get to midlife, we have these ideas, these concepts of who we are and what we can do. And most of those were based on creative adaptations to our culture and our family of origins. So if we spoke up and, we were given children are supposed to be seen and not heard, then we had to shut down and limit and restrict, like this card shows, our voice and that creative expression of all that we have to say. So we can see this card is really a card, as we say in soul work, of the protectors. The protector selves, and the limitations were there. They had some adaptive purpose. Like all defenses, all defense mechanisms were creative adaptations to try to compensate or cope or survive whatever culture and in our society and whatever culture was in our families. One of the things I see about this card, the way that she has it, it looks like a Venetian blind. Mm-hmm. Right? And I really thought with the blind, what happens in this card is you can't raise the blind.
No.
It feels like you can't raise it, nor can you open it or close it. And as all of us who have blinds know, sometimes it's really nice to have the blind down. It really serves a protective function, not letting in too much sun. Sometimes we raise it, and sometimes we just open it appropriately. So we're seeing that sort of function. And the other amazing thing is the blindfold, right? Because then that's what we're going to hopefully do in the induction and the soul work, is take the blindfold off a little bit so we can see what limits us, the parts, the selves that limit us, and come a little bit into relationship and then have choices about what we want to say and do, rather than it be sort of automatic, unconscious restrictions. Does that get some of what we're riffing about?
Yes, exactly. And so from that rift, I'm going to take it to the strength card and why I brought it in, which is that traditionally always has some kind of a version of a woman or a young child with a lion. And that is speaking to the courage that it takes, and like you could say the lightheartedness of a child or somebody who doesn't have a preconceived idea of what it means to go into a situation and what the outcome is going to be. So in this case, this very innocent child is with the lion and still laughing and is, leaning into the lion. And so the Eight of Swords, really to me, the differentiation is that as we age, as we get older, and we get much more rigidified about what we believe is going to work and what isn't going to work. And it's in the background all the time. Whether it's like when I hear people talk about climate change and that the world is just going to be destroyed. I hear those kinds of things and it's like, but we don't know. What's it like to be in the unknown? That's what to me strength is to allow yourself to go into, we don't really know.
I want to say one more thing too, as we look especially at the strength card. Mm-hmm. I really associate to the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And the Pevensey children were shipped off in the World War II, the bombings, to the countryside. So the whole culture is shut down and rigidified, and they're stuck, right, in that house. And they go into the wardrobe and they get in touch with Aslan, who's like the lion. Right. And he lets everything, the way the Wicked Witch has frozen and turned everyone into stone, everything be healed and open to new possibilities. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. A great association. And welcome to everybody that's here. Welcome, Pema. I haven't seen you before, so wonderful. And to all the people who may be also watching this later.
Through space and time.
Yes. So let's just, if you're comfortable, let's start with standing. We usually try to do that on our induction because it helps us to be a little bit more in the body. So taking some nice big deep breaths, see what it's just like to be in your body right now today as you just feel into your feet and their connection with the ground, feel into your belly, where your power and also maybe much of our fear lies, into our hearts. And lastly, and very most usually the easiest, is to sense into maybe all the different thoughts or ways it's different ideas are coming up right now that makes it maybe hard to settle, that are originating up in the head. So from this place, we're going to start with just a little air breath to, like, you could say, remind ourselves of what it's like if we're grounded and we can have that sense of possibility. And so we're breathing in and out of the mouth through pursed lips. And as you do it, see if you can just let yourself find that airiness in your body, letting it move in whatever way feels good. The air is really that beautiful place of imagination, of possibilities, and just seeing how it naturally makes us want to expand. And each of us aware as we're breathing that air breath that there's maybe a certain amount of restriction around that expansion. How big can we get, or what are we really allowed to do inside? Different parts of us say no to certain things. So we're going to begin to feel that. First of all, having your eyes open, looking around you as you're breathing the air breath. You can look around at the people in front of us on a screen, but they're really all there right now with us in space and time. Then you can also now see what happens. You're going to start by closing your eyes. Which can be either the kind of eye closure to go inside, or it can be, I don't want to look. So just imagine for a moment that sense of, I don't want to look. And as we do that and we continue to breathe, I want us to also take our 2 feet and bring them really close together. Like we're being a little bit tight at the ankles. And then, as we continue to breathe, we're going to put one arm, hand around whichever part of your body that feels good to you to do, like in somewhere around the middle or the upper chest. And then the other hand. And because it's a little tight now, why don't you let your breath become smaller? And you can just come back into an earth breath, breathing in and out through the nose. And just feeling this condition in which this woman in the card, the Eight of Swords, is feeling. That sense of restriction, needing to protect. Blindfolded, feeling bound up. Continue to breathe with it, but also feel the binding. And sending your intention out to all of the parts inside of us that you really want to understand. If there's something that's really binding us right now, that makes it hard to take off our blindfold and really see what's in front of us, or even take that first step to believe that there's any room to do it, that we're not already in a box, imprisoned. So as we have that intention, we're going to just gently open our legs again so we have a little bit more room. Let one hand come down, one arm. And then the other. We're really beginning to feel that sense of the difference of being so bound up. And we're coming more, and we can keep our eyes closed if that helps us to go within. We're not hiding right now. We're really also contacting that part of us that's the witness, that's going to be here for all of the different parts of us that might be afraid, might be worried, might be scared to go forward, to take off the blindfold, to imagine something different. So we're going to start with really breathing in with the through the mouth, and then we will sing to different parts of our body. So we're going to start with the head, and imagine first of all the head feeling constrained, so we can put our hands up on the head so it doesn't have to constrain itself. We're just going to be an outward constraint on our head to just so our head can feel that, and we're going to start to sing to it that I can song, that dark mother of the universe reminding us that as we go into our own darkness, we can find the I can. And then when we do the Ra'um, we'll take our hands and we'll bring them all the way from the heart down into our first chakra. So it goes like this. We take a breath in through the mouth. Belit. Breathe in again. Mati. Breathe in again. Makahatu. Again. Belit. Mati. Makahatu. We can wiggle around the head and let it shake a little bit because there's often a lot of fear up in there. And then we come down to the heart. All the way down to the first chakra. Back up to the head and let it shake. Belit. Mati. Makahatu. We understand if you're feeling protective and we're letting you shake it out. Belit. Mati. Makahatu. And this time just letting your head shake as you sing to it. Belit. Mati. Makahatu. Belit. Mati. Makahatu. One more time, we're going to sing it, and we're going to this time really focus on, we're sending it life force energy to hold all that fear. Each time we breathe in, Belit.
Mati Malakatu
Coming up with your hands on your throat.
Belit Mati Malakatu.
All of the parts of us that can't speak.
Belit Mati Malakatu.
Sitting in our womb, in our love. Coming back up and helping it to shake a little bit, all that fear out.
Belit Mati Malakatu. Belit Mati Malakatu.
And then just letting your hands be down and letting your throat shake on its own, sending a good energy, that life force on the inhale. Belit Mati Malakatu. And resting back in the heart. Belit Mati Malakatu. Coming into the shoulders and really letting them, you can hold them and let them shake a little bit, all those burdens. Belit Mati Malakatu. Belit Mati Malakatu. Letting your hands just be down at your sides as you let them shake this time as you breathe in. Belit Mati Malakatu. Belit Mati Malakatu. Letting go of those burdens, all the ways we've had to protect ourselves by doing that. Coming into our arms, our elbows, our hands, our wrists, all the ways that we want to, that we give maybe too much, or we don't take, or we can't even reach out. Belit Mati Malakatu. Belit Mati Malakatu. shaking out those hands and arms one more time. They lead, sending them good energy. Mati, we're here with you. We want to befriend you. Malkatu, they lead. Mati, Malkatu. Back into the heart. Coming up into the upper chest and the heart area and the upper back. They lead. Mati. And take our hands and kind of jiggle it around, let it know that we're here for it. Malkatu. They lead. Mati. Malkatu. Sending that energy to it. They lead. Mati. Malkatu. Letting it shake out anything else that's in the way. They lead. Mati. Malkatu. Coming into the solar plexus, using your hands to shake it up a little bit. They lead. Mati. Malkatu. They lead. Mati. Malkatu. Sending it love. Coming back, sending that life force energy and letting it shake out on its own. They lead. Mati. All the fear. Malkatu. The worry about being powerful. They lead. Mati. The anger. Malkatu. Sending it love. Coming down into the hips and the first and second chakra. Using your hands to help shake it up. Mati. Malkatu. They lead. Mati. Malkatu. Sending it love. shake on its own.
Belit Mati Makatu. Belit Mati Makatu.
Sending the love. Focusing on the whole leg, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the shins, the ankles, and the feet. And we're singing it to them, and we're letting ourselves just really kind of shake them up a little bit. Belit Mati Makatu. Belit Mati Makatu. Sending love. Letting them shake out on their own, sending them energy. Belit Mati Makatu. Belit Mati Makatu. Sending them love. Letting all of ourselves know, all of the parts of us, all of the fearful ones that are holding, that we can, just like the deer, we can just shake it all out as we sing this reminder that us as conscious self, as the witness self, can really hold the I can to the whole body. Belit Mati. Shaking out anywhere you need to. Makatu. Belit Mati Makatu. Sending love. And then just notice for a moment, let your legs go a little wider than they might even be, and begin to breathe in and out through the mouth. Feel the places that might have felt even more bound when we first began. As we let ourselves be moved in the breeze, and we give thanks to all the parts of our being that might have let go just a little bit, knowing that we're here with our strength. That there's other possibilities. And letting ourselves blow our way into a chair, some place to sit or on the ground. Fasten sturdiness again to support us to go inside. And really just coming back into the heart for a moment with the Raum. We'll do 2 more Raums, and then I give it over to Raphael. Raum. Sending love to every part of us.
And then just following my voice, you can move faster or slower depending on what unfolds in your inner life. But begin by bringing loving attention to your breath flowing in and out of your heart center, perhaps imagining your chest is soft and porous, and the air, the breath flows in and out of your heart center. And perhaps you can imagine as you inhale this Raum, this I can, breathing in, charging you, filling you with this life energy, nourishing your heart. And as you breathe out, releasing, letting go of any fear and tension that's ready to be released. With each breath, as we continue in our guided soul work meditation, breathing in this I can, and with each breath, releasing, relaxing, letting go. We begin just with focusing on the heart center, the vast alchemical furnace of our hearts. And knowing as we do that, that our hearts are joined here, those of us gathered in this Zoom temple, and our hearts are also gathered and connecting through space and time with all those who may be watching this at a different place in space and time. And you can let your breath be any one of the elemental breaths, whatever feels right for you, or just letting it breathe in and out through your nose or in and out through your mouth. And there's so many tugs and pulls of so many selves, just asking them to either step aside or to join you with this focus on your heart. Reminding them really right now there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. All those things can wait a little while. Then as you continue to bring your awareness into the sacred space of your heart, just listening to these words, the sun world dissolving, bathing in moonlight, dreaming while awake. And imagine what your heart is like today. Perhaps you see the sacred space of your heart. Perhaps you feel, perhaps any of the inner senses as you become awake and alive to a place of safety, of nourishment, of peace, of relaxation, a place also of strength. And perhaps it's a place you've been before in your inner meditations, or had in a dream, or a place from childhood that was nourishing, safe, secure. Perhaps a special place that was your rock, or your meadow, or your tree. Just allowing yourself to be there, to just notice this space for a moment. Let yourself relax and enjoy this sacred space. And as you rest there with all love and all respect, we ask High Self, our inner guide, the angel of our being, our celestial twin, to come into the sacred space of our hearts for a time of communion, a time of guidance, a time of dialogue. And beginning just by a time of communion, breathing in, whether you see or feel or hear or just imagine or sense a sense of presence of something larger and expansive, breathing that blessing in on your inhalation and breathing back thanks and gratitude on the exhalation, letting your breath be an infinity loop between you and High Self. And as we do this, we open if there's a name or a way High Self wishes to be known or called. If so, fine. If not, continue to enjoy this inner blessing. And with all love and all respect, ask High Self if High Self has any guidance for you today, any way to help you more deeply understand some of these restrictions, some of these parts that had to learn to hold back and restrict, and what can help relax overall. But High Self, we ask for your guidance, just anything general to help us understand our restrictions and have compassion for them, and to help us open to how we can release, let go, getting in touch with this inner strength, this inner aliveness. And you can continue with High Self if you wish, or I invite you to either call in one of those times and places you were stuck, or a way you find in your life, whether in the past or the present, ways that you're restricted, you're stuck, those blinds come and shut, and you can't see, and you can't move, or you can't speak, or you can't act, or you can't feel. Feel the way those swords restrict, those structures, those cells in the mind learn to restrict. Just pick one of those scenario and then allow yourself to open, to invite in oneself that works so hard to protect through holding back or holding in. We invite this self into your heart. And if it's hard, or there are other selves who want to fix or change this one, or say it shouldn't be that way, or get frustrated or upset, just asking those selves to step aside, to just watch. Because by approaching every self with love, respect, being curious, separating, and coming into relationship, that's how this natural process of integration and unfoldment can occur. And taking a moment to get to know this one, to feel where this one is in your body that learned to restrict and hold back. And you can sense that, or if you wish, you can place a hand, if that helps you, to wherever this is in your body. And just open to whatever this one might be feeling. Are they frantic or apprehensive or feel the pressure? And if there are memories that come as you hold this one gently, bringing your loving attention to this one, especially any thoughts or beliefs that this one has. And really allowing yourself to be loved, to bring love, respect, curiosity to this one. And how do you feel towards this one? Can you bring that love and curiosity? If not, asking that one that veils conscious self, that veils you as the witness, to just step aside. And when you're ready, bringing this love, compassion, curiosity to this one, just letting it know you're open, you'd like to know about it, whether it wants to communicate through sensations or images or feelings or behaviors. Just open, let it know you want to get to know it, you'd like to know about it a little bit. Just let whatever natural dialogue opens between you and this one. Perhaps asking it how you can help it. Making sure it knows you're here, and if not, introducing yourself, especially the wonderful adult being you've become. With all the resources you have in your life. Friends, families, teachers, your intelligence, your heart, high self. Really letting this one know they're not alone. Now they may have been alone. And asking what this one sees as their role or their job, how they view this closing or shutting of the blinds of the swords. What purpose it has for them. What are they trying to accomplish? Or were they trying to accomplish? And just asking them what they're afraid would happen if they stopped this or attending to this. Perhaps what they were afraid would happen, and then ask them what might happen now. Letting them know it's 2023. And asking if they have a name or a way they wish to be known, so you could visit in the future. And inviting them to breathe this breath of unity with High Self and you. And as they rest, just asking if it's okay with them that you could just take a moment, just a minute, to just open and feel all the energy, all the different selves that they've had to hold back. We don't have enough time today to work with them, but if they'd be willing to just let us and them just see all the creative potential, all the different selves, all the different energies inside that they've been holding back, so you and they could just feel all the wonder, all the joy, the majesty, the courage, all the unlived dreams and potentials, to just see and feel that just for a moment with them. Letting all those selves know, all those deep energies on so many levels that over time will open and allow you in our lives in ways that really fit our inner and outer worlds. But today we're just feeling you, just seeing you. And then inviting all these to just enter into the breath of unity with you, with high self, with this one who's learned to protect and shut things down, while just breathing together. And as we bring our soul work this morning to a close, we'll bow down once, singing the Rahum, bringing that I can to all our inner lives, and coming up and breathing that Rahum to our outer lives, to the manifestation of that, when and where that naturally unfolds. Just taking a moment to rest in the quiet or whatever is there, and reflect for a moment on your journey this morning, like a dream, reflecting on it. And if you can just sit, you can stretch, if you want to make a note or an image. And as you're ready, taking your time, as you're ready, anyone who'd love to share about their experience, we'd love to hear from you.